Okie dokie, so we're going away. So as you see on the last episode, mentioned it, charge timer, I'm going to change that now, and that's how it's always been for the last 26,000 miles. So what I'll do is edit the schedule, turn it to 80% so it doesn't sit there at full charge, and then I'm going to, because now it's Monday, I'm going to turn off all these days, and then on Sunday it's going to kick in and charge to 80%, which is brilliant. What I could have actually done there, let me cancel that, go back, suspend schedule update, yes I guess, right, so that's the schedule, edit schedule. What I could do is turn this one on, say 100%, and then match this one, so 12:30 AM to 7:30 AM, is that you're saying? And then we'll say Sunday, and then we'll say off of that one, save that one, and there we go. Okay to confirm, and now in a week's time it will charge. There we go. Charge next Sunday, 12:30 AM. It's actually on 7%. So it's going to charge then. So I shall plug it in, and job done. Okay, been on holiday to Spain. Could not get a flipping car to remote charge using the Nissan car wings. It's plugged in. It is still plugged in. I got all the errors. I'll put them up in a minute. So what I'll do is hopefully it'll open up, which it has done. So if you can't get your Nissan Leaf to remote charge, it's beeping actually. Ah. I think someone's messed around with the cable. That's what I think. There you go. Should have charged. Hasn't. It's the cable. I think someone pulled out the cable a little bit. Let's turn it on. It hasn't been turned on for 2 weeks. So 9 miles, correct. Battery level is low. So what that's on? Low battery charge. There we go. Right, what didn't happen is I set up the charge timer, didn't I? Weird. This didn't kick in, didn't charge it to 80%. Ah, of course, it's because someone's messed around with the cable. That's why. That answers all that question. That's good. Right, that answers all those questions. Couldn't get the flipping thing to charge because the flipping cable. Right, turn it off now. I do need to use this car. So, there we go. Now on charge. Okay, browner, as you may see, due to being in Spain on holiday. Yes, so I think what happened there was possibly a helpful family member thinking I accidentally left it plugged in, taking it out, maybe. This is all presumptions, because I don't know. And there's been a lot of people that have gone back and forth to our house to water plans and so forth, so I don't know. Could have just been someone playing about with it. So, what do we learn from that? Which is the most important thing, really. One is to let people know that you've intentionally plugged your car in. If you're doing what I did, which is go away for 2 weeks or more, let them know you plugged it in, and you meant to. The other thing probably would be to lock it using the lock function, which is down the right hand side below the steering wheel, if you've got a right hand drive Nissan Leaf. That way you can't disconnect it. So yeah, it would have worked okay, but of course it didn't. Although you saw I was set it up to actually cut in the Sunday to charge to 80%, and then I planned to, the day before I left, is to put it on charge that evening. So when I got back it was 100%. It was no major problem. It turns out I didn't need to leave straight away when I got back or anything anyway, but if I had it done, it could have been a bit problematic. But I've just put it on charge. I've charged up now I charged up 60%. I'm just coming into work now to try and pick backup ready for Monday, which I don't really need to because it's bank holiday tomorrow, but I'll have to come in tomorrow anyway to do some work to make sure we're set for Tuesday. So yeah, basically make sure you let people know that you intentionally have plugged it in. Otherwise, it all falls down and you can't do anything remotely. But I didn't know. So if you do get that problem, you could always get someone to check that it's actually plugged in properly if you can't get it to charge. I had loads of problems, by the way, connecting to the Nissan car wings network. You know, it's a problem that keeps happening all the time. When you actually want to use the flipping thing, it says cannot connect and all this sort of business. Now that happened, but I also had another problem, which was when it did connect, which is, I think it connected twice in the last 48 hours. I managed to actually get it connected and get an update on the battery status with a time which it shows you when it last updated, so you know whether you've connected to the database successfully or not. Of course, when I did actually successfully connect, it said charge error. It didn't say cable undone or anything, it just said error. So of course that, you know, it could do with some sort of, it knows, because when I turn the car on, you may have heard it go beep 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 beep, and that's because the 3 lights on the front of the dash are flashing, and it knows the cable's not plugged in correctly, and that's the warning it gives you. So you'd think it would give you a more detailed response error code. But so if you do get that problem, it's probably because of the cable. If you can connect to the data center and you can't get it to charge, you've either got a power cut, I presume, these are the 2 options, or it's not plugged in properly anymore. So yeah, take a look at those 2 options. But there we go, lessons learned. But my remote schedule and remote starting didn't work out for me, did it? Never mind. Good morning. It is 8:24 in the morning and it is 9 degrees. So that's really the main reason I'm doing this little video clip, is because the temperature has now started to drop significantly. Yesterday it was a very hot day, as in, you know, maximum was 16, 17 degrees C. So yeah, summer is over. How quick did that go by? Like, boom, gone. So back into the autumn, winter temperatures now. But to be fair, I haven't really noticed it much. Just use the car as normal. I haven't done any crazy trips. It's not like some sort of entered some sort of terrible period where everything's bad. Because with the Gen 2, of course, Leaf, the heater and the air conditioning is a much more economical unit. Gen 1 people probably go, oh, possibly, don't know. But that's what I read up on. I've got no experience with the Gen 1 at all. But apparently, put the heater on, you lose about 30%. So, i.e. 25-30 miles of your range, which, yeah, would not be good. Mum and Dad would have that problem, because theirs is, although a new Leaf, it's the Visia model, so it has the old style heater. Or they remove their stock from Nissan's warehouse, keep fitting them. Seems a bit mad. But they knew that before they even bought it. Decided that actually it wasn't really an issue, and it hasn't been, to be fair, at all, for what they use it for and how they use it. Anyway, there you go. So temperatures dropping off. 9 degrees this morning, real chilly. The other point is the cars that were left. So Mum and Dad's Leaf and my Leaf were left. Mine for 2 weeks. Mum and Dad's for about 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Well, they left on 100%. I then brought the charge down to about 50%. Then we went away for 2 weeks, and I left mine plugged in. You can see that in previous clips. Didn't really work out how I wanted it to. But anyway, there was no issues when we got back. Both cars worked absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with the 12-volt battery. Everything worked. So when I went to my parents' house, just literally got in the car, unlocked it with a remote fob, got in it, put it on charge. They came back the following day, did 100% charge. So yeah, what should have been able to happen, of course, is that this one you should be able to start from anywhere in the world to start charging, so you could potentially leave it, you can bridge the gap. So if you're away for 4 weeks, you could leave the car at 60%, say, and then 2 weeks later you could remote start the charging if you wanted to. But you gotta make sure it's plugged in properly to do that. But of course, Mum and Dad, you can't do that. You can put it on the schedule, but that schedule spans a week. So the most you could do is when you leave, say in a week's time, charge up. Which is not a bad idea. Getting conflicting views. Excuse me. Some say you should be plugged in, leave it plugged in. Some say you shouldn't. I have no idea on that, but I've heard the view that if you leave it unplugged, then the main battery does the maintenance of the 12-volt battery, which is pretty cool. But apparently if you leave it plugged in, it doesn't do that. But then I've also heard people saying you've got to leave it plugged in, and the recommendation of Nissan, so it does do that. All I know, mine was left unplugged, my parents left unplugged, and there was no issues whatsoever. So yeah, that's one of the most boring clips ever. But there we go. Hope you guys are all well and enjoying yourself. And congratulations on all the people who've been writing to me saying they've got an EV, Nissan Leaf or otherwise. Hope you're enjoying yourself. And it saves you a lot of money like it has done for me. So, laters. Ooh. Good morning. We had a power cut. And that was this morning. Heard something go bang, and it was actually the board going. So the trip switch had gone on the board. Went down, turned it on, and the power is actually off. Which is interesting, because if you were relying on the power just kicking back in again, your car picking up charge, if your trip switch goes, obviously that won't happen until you manually pull that switch back down again. Wave goodbye to everyone before I go to work. So yeah, that's just one thing. I just suddenly thought, it's not on the power, it comes straight back on again, or it came on and it carried on as normal. I had to manually go down and put the switch on. It's still off anyway, so it might even trip again, you never know. Bit odd, but anyway, that's the first power cut I've had, but it hasn't affected the car at all, because the must have charged before then. And there in front of me, you will see another Nissan Leaf, possibly, and all my stuff dropping all over the floor as I go along. So charging at the same time on the motorway service station, coming into Bristol. Wow, Michael Wood just coming out of. So yeah, all good fun. Bye bye.
800 yards, take the exit on your left.
Wow, 27,000 miles, 37 miles ago. So yeah, 27,000 miles. Okay, I've arrived at Michaelwood North and the charger isn't working. There's another leaf on the other charger, and it said emergency button had been pressed. And when I press recover, it says trying to recover and it doesn't work. But the solution to that problem, after ringing electricity, was to depress the button slightly and turn it to the right, and it popped out a little bit, and I was able to press recover and it worked. How cool is that? Partly aided by the fact there's no perspex cover over it, so I was actually able to do that. So if you come across that and you're out of hours, if it's within hours, electricity hours, I would ring them first just to make sure. But if it's out of it and you're completely stuck, then that may work wonders for you. And the weather, not nice. There you go. Anyway, that's a little tip for you that I didn't know and never come across before ever. So there we go. Somebody's pressed it, haven't they, like a naughty person. Okay, it's really early in the morning, but I've just realised, and I am an idiot, I've just realised that putting the eco button on limits the heater, air conditioning, etc. Yeah, it's taken me, unless I've forgotten, and I've already realised it, but I've forgotten that I've realised it. I have only just realised that is the case. So if you're struggling in the morning with a bit of fogging and stuff, and you've got your aircon on, it doesn't seem to be doing anything very much, turn off the old eco button. Didn't realise that. Okie dokie. Funny one today. Fairly fun anyway. Rushed back home from work to go to a funeral, and got out of the car, plugged it in, and could hear some air leaking out somewhere. So I knelt down by the front right wheel where I could hear the sound come from. Oh no, I've got a puncture. So rushed off with 10 minutes to spare at the most to a garage, quickly dumped the keys with them, said please fix it, gotta go to the funeral. Front right tyre. Anyway, I had to pick it up and they couldn't find a puncture. How weird. And it appears to be the heat pump that makes that noise, which I've never heard before, which is strange in itself. But when I got back home, after driving back from the garage, I listened again. I could hear almost the same noise, not quite strong, but the same sort of hissing noise. So I don't think it's an actual problem, but I've never heard it before. My heating seems to be working and everything, and the air conditioning is working, so still several hours on. Don't know, but it sounded just like a puncture, so I put my ear by the tyre. I was like, ah, great. It was that prominent. Don't know if anyone else has experienced that, can hear it. If not, drive somewhere in your Leaf, put the air conditioning on, possibly heating, and when you get back, switch the car off, get out and listen to your right hand side of the front. Put your ear into the wheel arch, and you may hear something that sounds like air coming out your tyre, but it isn't. Bye. Okie dokie, as you can see, I've got the car full. Heading down to Butlins, Minehead, for an event which we are running, or involved in an event which is running the science fair, doing like a little workshop there. It's 101 miles. I'm leaving on 92% battery. It's 10:38 a.m. So we shall see. Estimated time arrival, well, 2 hours, so it's 12:30. But I got a charge, so I think I'm going to do 2 charges. One at Michael Wood and then one at Sedgemoor. Both are showing up as green and okay, so here I go. I think theoretically, I could make it to Sedgemoor. I had a look at the map. I couldn't get the Nissan website to work this morning. Anyway, I had a quick look on Google Maps, and so I'm able to make it. Anyway, I'll keep you updated as per usual, but it's just a bit of a longer trip than usual. I'm actually loaded up. I've got approximately, I'm trying to think now. I've got 2 behind me, 1 on seat 3. I think probably 1 in the boot 4. So 2 in the boots. 2 in the boots. So it's 5 times 14 kilograms, plus 2 lots of 35 kilograms, and then a bit extra on top. So quite a bit of weight added into the mix. So we shall see. It's a nice day. 14 degrees at sea. There you go. It's like a spaceship, isn't it? All these readings. Right. Bye. Well, I thought all the combinations, I'd seen them all, but that's pretty different, that one. So, I arrived at Butlins with no issues. So, yeah, no problems. All good, seamless, no issues with infrastructure or car. Like driving a normal car. Been raining, which is a bit of a shame, but there we go. So what's actually happening now is I'm heading back home again. So I've done 100 and whatever it was, miles down. Heading back to pick up my boy. Then I'm coming back down again, and then we'll go back up again. So 1, 2, 3, 400 miles. Just over 410 miles. Something like that. In total, over the Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Anyway, I'm heading back to Bridgewater Services. There are no chargers near Minehead that are any good, basically, unless you want to sit there for hours. And they're all B&Bs. And so on 40%, 38 miles on the old guessometer, and 23 miles to Bridgewater services, so should be fine. Hopefully Bridgewater is working. If Bridgewater isn't working, I'm screwed. Bye! Yeah, it's a good job this charger is working, because there's an Outlander there. But I've just noticed it's not actually even connected up. It's just sat in the electric charging bay. How selfish is that? Good job no one else actually wants to charge, and this one's working. Electric vehicle, yeah, charge there. Does clearly say though, it says only park within this area when using electricity charge points. And it's not even on charge. That's just stupid. Well, it's going fine. All the charges I've used, 3 service stations on the way up, have all worked fine. There was a, as you saw, Outlander taking up a space that's not even charging, which is just incredible. Yeah, it got me to thinking. There's been a article, I can't remember, it was some magazine, it was at CNN, it might be CNN or something like that. Anyway, some magazine where 2 guys travel off and try and do a circuit. I was trying to name the magazine, I'll put it in the link below, or the whatever it is, online magazine. They took a Nissan Leaf out for a test drive and it went terrible. It was a nightmare, and it took 24 hours to actually do their journey. It took, 4 or 5 times longer than it should have done. It involved several tow trucks or one tow truck. When you read that, if you drive one of these, you realise that the first thing they did, they arrived at a rapid charge, didn't check whether it was charging or not, and walked off and came back wherever long it was later, 30, 40 minutes later, to find that it hadn't in fact started charging. They then got in the car and then tried to drive to the next one to charge there, and at that point, that's where it went wrong. And there was numerous errors in what they did from a lack of understanding of how to actually drive an electric car and to use it. It's not like you need to be some sort of specialist. It just takes looking at what you've got to do to be able to drive one. The reason I'm quite critical of it is because they were ridiculously critical of the electric car. Made a real fuss, as you expect them to do in the press. Made a real fuss of how terrible it was. It just doesn't work, and it's not. It may be the future, but it's not here and now, because it's just impossible. 27,437 miles and not a single rapid charger has actually disrupted my journey, so much so that I have to be towed away. Now you may be saying to yourself, I've seen videos you've been towed. Yes, there's been 2, I think, instances where I've run out and had to be towed, both right next to my house, and both instances were me being stupid intentionally to see if I can actually push it to the complete maximum, as a lot of you who watch like to see happen. There's never been, and it's bound to happen at some point surely, there's never been an instance where it stopped my journey. I've been completely screwed. I've got frustrated. I've gone to charges that aren't working, or and they're showing green on the map and they aren't really in reality, but I've actually managed to do my journey and get to my end point without having to sleep somewhere overnight to complete my journey. Yeah, so a little bit strange. I expect a lot of you have seen that article. Just daft, just really daft. It's like going up to a charge point, going like that, and covering your ears up so you can't hear it come on, or beep at you to tell you it's working. Going la 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 with your eyes closed, get it to charge, and running off and leaving it and going, right, hope when we come back that's working, because otherwise that 40 minutes has been wasted. Just weird, real weird. And as I say, I've done 27,439 miles now, so it does work. I don't quite know what their problem is. I understand that rapids go down and things like that, but the first, I think that really was a bit of a non-issue. Misuse of the equipment and a lack of understanding of what to do, I suppose. It just seems really strange. In fact, it's quite hard to understand how you would plug it in and then run off to go somewhere. Not really sure how you do that. Why wouldn't you check? You plug it in, it starts up. Unless I suppose you're ridiculously impatient, don't want to wait the 30 seconds it takes to initialise the charging sequence. I suppose if you didn't want to wait 30 seconds, you may indeed go, well, I'm bored of this. My patience is wearing a bit thin. I'm off. Let's go and have a meal somewhere. When I come back, this baby will be at 80%. No, it's not. We should have checked, shouldn't we? It would have taken 30 seconds. We didn't. Just wanted to prove a point. It's a point, actually, that's journalists, i.e. the Top Gear thing, initiated when they slated the Leaf. It's a point who's actually wearing a bit thin now, I think, for a lot of people, because there's a heck of a lot of people out there using Leafs, Zoes, and they're travelling tens of thousands of miles. CNC taxis in Cornwall, great example. If anyone ever says it can't be done, they're not here for today, and they're a load of crap, the cars are. And then, excuse my language, and then just CNC taxis, Cornwall, they've got 6 or 7 Leafs. They changed the brake pads for the first time after 100,000 miles. No bar loss at all. So if you're wondering whether you should or shouldn't see bad reviews by journalists or people who are doing it for the very first time and documenting it, then go and look elsewhere. There's people that actually know what they're talking about. So CNC taxis, look on Twitter or Facebook, they've been in one of my episodes where I went to Cornwall, where I did the 500 miles, same trip as they did. Not the same trip as those guys did, exact route, but the same mileage. I did 500 miles with no issues. No issues in terms of I didn't have to be traded away, or I didn't have to sleep somewhere overnight to try and wait for something to charge on a slow charge, nothing like that. I had an issue on the last rapid, which had a temperature issue, which tripped out basically. So I'll make sure I'm actually going the right way now. I think I am. Yes, I am. Good. Yeah, so, but I got home nonetheless with whatever it was, 7 miles to spare or something. But I got there. It was just a worrying time. It wasn't actually anything that, in reality, didn't need to be worried because there was no problem. So I could have written a story about it, say how terribly worried it was. Oh, it's very nerve-wracking, all this sort of business. But in the end, the result was, did it get me home? Yes, it did. So no real issue. Stop moaning. So yeah, and on that episode, CNC taxis were in there, and they let me use their Rapid, because at the time there wasn't any Rapids down there. There now is. So that's my little rant about that over. I'm driving along, so obviously I can't read the article, but I was going to read it word for word because there's multiple points of where they went wrong. So it's basically, the story really is 2 guys tried to do a journey, they made loads of mistakes, and they ended up having to be traded away. In the mix of that were Rapid. There was an issue with a Rapid charger and possibly another charger, but it all went wrong from the very first time that they quickly plugged it in, ran away, and it didn't charge. That's where it went wrong from. And it's that doesn't give them any credibility as far as I can see, in terms of actually checking the equipment that you're using. I suppose if you try and treat it like a fuel car, and you still look what you're doing with a fuel car, don't you? You watch the money counting up, and you stand there for a couple of minutes doing that. So I don't know. But anyway, that's my thoughts there. It's just really for anyone that's looked at that article. But luckily, there's people like me doing video blogs, and as I say, loads of people doing blogs and things and getting on successfully and perfectly fine. There's the people that have tried it for a week or 2, or just taken it for a couple of day test drive and hate it, and some that like it and buy it. But I certainly love it, and I'm doing 400 miles. Brilliant thing is, I'm doing 400 miles over this long weekend, and it's free. Thank you, Electricity. So it's not costing me anything at all. It's pleasant to drive in the car. Time, yeah, there's about 45 minutes added on to my journey. Say an hour. There's an hour added on to my journey. It's free though. Down an hour back, so 2 hours in the whole trip. If I was going down and up, I'm not. I'm traveling 4 times, so add those up. But it's free. But not only that, so the extra time, the people where we're doing,
take the first exit.
the people that we're doing the workshop for are paying 25 pence per mile for the down and back up trip. So I'm getting paid to travel on something that costs me nothing. So I'm getting fuel costs, even though my fuel costs are zero. So that will pay for my time. Brilliant. How cool is that? But we'll see anyway. Perhaps I'll go terribly wrong and then all the charges will be broken on the way down, all the way back up again. But so far, and for the last few months, the up of the charges has been very good. They haven't been down. I had that one the other day where it was the emergency button had been pressed by some silly person. But that was, it went like that and that, and it works. So there we go. And then the charge there. Right. Anyway, goodbye. So got the young one there. But that's interesting. £5 charge. You leave it plugged in. I'm gonna have a look. I don't think I've got my Source West with me. We'll have a look, see what works and what doesn't. Perhaps ecotricity will work. Unlikely though. Oh hello. Deep in the air. Charge your car. What if that works? I don't want to pay because I'm going to 7 thing. So I'll have a little look. See what they got going on. See if ecotricity works. And I'll let you know. Okie dokie, so they got the old Shadowmo. Slots in there. Fast charger. Let's have a look. Checking the card. See, look, card not authorised. It's lame, isn't it? But let's have a little look. There, the app. Source West. Tap the card on the reader. But interestingly, there's the rules. £5 penalty. So let's go and get. This is what you call wasting time. Never mind. Let's have a little look. See what we got to do. See if this charge your car will work. Checking the card. Card not authorised. Ha! There you go. Ah. It's no ecotricity, is it?
Try the other one.
Don't matter. So if that doesn't work with that. If I stuck it there, you'd never know. It's good, isn't it? Oh well, didn't want to use you anyway. You charge too much. Probably. I don't know. Bye. Let's go. Right, well that wasn't very good, was it? Charge your car.
You can't charge it here.
I've got a charge your car card. I've gone to a charge your car charger. And it says card not recognised.
Proceed to the highlighted route.
I don't know what that means. I presume it means it's not set up or something.
Starting route guidance to
Who knows?
One.
But
Continue on the current route.
it doesn't work because the card doesn't work, and I'm not going to ring because I don't want to pay to charge anyway, because there's ample amount of ecotricity or rapid chargers en route. So we're going to 7 services by the Severn Bridge, over the Severn Bridge. That's on that side. Cool. Exciting, isn't it, Tobe?
Yeah.
You really excited?
Yeah.
You excited about going to the rapid chargers? No. Be exciting if it's broken. It's green on the map. Had a quick check. Rightio, bye. And there you go, look. Bit of a hold up. Just a slight hold up.
Sheep.
Few sheep coming up the road. It's normal. Main road. But yeah, busy getting those sheep in. Man, I wouldn't want to do it here. Just look. There you go, look. That's normal, isn't it, Tobe? Oh, we got a loose one. No, going through. They love it. Brilliant, isn't it? Right, mister. Get the ecotricity card.
Just like you said before the video.
Then shut the door. Good. Right then.
See if you can work this out. We want to stop it, don't we? Whoa, trip over it. What are we on, 84%? There we go. So what are you going to do then with zero instruction? You ever see me do this?
Oh yes. You need to kind of do
What does it say on the screen?
emergency use only.
No, on the screen, that's just a panel.
Charge mode standard 85% now.
And what do we want to do?
Go
Stop
to
it and go. So which button are you going to press?
This one.
No, that's the emergency stop. Read the screen.
Stop. Oh yeah.
Alright, so it's not touchscreen.
Ah.
But the buttons on the left and right, you need to match those arrows with the button.
This one.
Yeah. And then read the screen instructions.
Ooh. So you have to put it in there.
No, place it on there. There we go, please wait. Oh, stop charging. Right, and then how do you take it out? Do you know?
Easy peasy.
Is it easy peasy? Nope. Grey sleeve. Pull that back. Pull that back, the grey sleeve, that's it. Then the handle drops down. Pull the handle down. Let me give you your other hand. There we are, like that. So pull the grey thing back. That's it, now pull the handle down. Handle down.
Handle down.
Yeah, so red button. Black button. Right, I'll show you how to do it.
Okay. Then can you plug it back in and then?
No. So grey thing back, press, pull the handle down, press button again, release.
Oh.
And then something that loads of people don't do is you don't hang it like that. Or a weird one I saw the other day, how did they do it? We actually turned it upside down and then put it on there. It's too strong, that cable. Must have had help from someone. And you put it back in there. There you go. And then done. What? Done. Lovely.
This one.
You've done that one yet? Go on then, close them up then. And then we're done. Oh well, we got a few more of those to do. You'll be able to get it in a minute. I could just sit in the lovely car whilst you do it. Have you shut the flaps up, did you? Bye. Yo, how's it going, Tobe? We are charging. Yay! On the way back home. Those lovely blue lights flashing. So where are we? In Sedgemoor, no, not Sedgemoor.
19%.
Bridgewater Services, I think it is. Do you know what? I think it's Bridgewater. Can't remember. But it's good. It's working anyway. This is the one I'm always very wary about. It's one charger, and it used to keep having a problem with the phone signal, but it's 4G here now, so presumably that's sorted that as well. Bye. Michael Wood Services, am I glad to see you? It is dashes.